Tariffs. We hear a lot of bad things about tariffs. We hear the president say a lot of good things about tariffs. The stock market has been hit by tariffs. The stock market, however, has responded well also during tariff time. So what is going on here? Let's turn to Tim Smith. He's a financial contributor here on the show. He's also CEO of Aurora Private Wealth. Tim, good to have you with us. When we last spoke to you a month or so ago, the market had taken, in April, the market had taken a 20% drop due to tariffs.
Yep.
However, the market has responded remarkably well and performed, as I say, remarkably well since then, and while the tariffs are still in place. What's going on here?
Well, the markets respond to new information, right? So a number of things have happened since the tariff thing started in early or late March, let's say. And those things are, for example, the economy has continued to chug along. So far, we haven't seen an economic impact directly from it. That's good news. Second, Trump has backed off on a number of the tariff things that he tried to put in place. For example, China, we were going to be at something like 165%. Well, now we're at 30, and they're supposed to be at 10. Trump says they're not really there, but the point is that they made an agreement to de-escalate. And that has more meaning than the actual tariffs that are left in place, hopefully temporarily anyway. So that has happened. There have been a couple of settlements and near settlements where the tariffs have come down. The UK, for example, EU is, I don't think it's done, but I think it's pretty close. So those types of positive, one more thing. Trump has shown a unique ability to pivot, which we didn't really see in the past. And right now he's he's embroiled in a thing with Elon Musk, and they're both going back and forth at it, and he's not backing down. Elon Musk is not backing down. But Trump on tariffs seemed to find that, maybe politically, maybe economically, in the short term, this isn't the best thing. So he tempered his rhetoric. He compromised. He began to show signs that, okay, we're just going to try to make things better. We're not going to just do across the board stuff. And that has really resulted in greater confidence that the economic impact of this is not going to be hellacious at the end of the day. And so the market rebounded about 15 or 16% off of where it was. It's somewhere around 4% below its peak of February. So it's actually very close to where it was when the tariff thing started in late March, when the whole thing began.
Interestingly enough, what you just said, Tim, kind of underscores my whole belief on this, is that Trump is a businessman more than he is a politician. And a businessman would not be in favor of tariffs. However, a businessman would be looking for ways to create negotiation and compromise and put something out there and pull it back.
It's leverage.
Exactly.
It's leverage. So, and I had this conversation with a number of clients. My feeling about it at the beginning, and until he began to finally start to relent a bit, my feeling about it had been that he knows, think of it, the art of the deal. You have to create leverage when you want to get something from the other side. And, without leverage, and he had no leverage in the first 4 years. These tariffs, all of this pretty much existed in his first term, and he hated it, and he disliked what it did to America, but he didn't push the envelope. This time, he hit it hard, very hard. And, I think it had the desired shock and awe impact and effect that got people to the table. Now, we'll see, the 90-day pause, which was a part of what also helped the market rebound somewhat, is coming to an end. So hopefully there will be either some deals closing soon or an extension so that the markets don't have to take another hit.
Shifting gears, but related, tech stocks.
Yeah.
The word out there has been that recently is that tech stocks are overstretched. They're stretched thin here. What do you think's going on?
Well, I think what we've had is a recognition in the markets that we have left the industrial society of the 1870s to 1990s behind completely. Look at stocks like the Dow Jones Industrial Average, never keeps up with the S&P 500. The S&P 500 now is largely technology stocks.
Hmm.
So there's been this recognition that we're moving really headlong into a new era. And it's been going on for a long time. I'm not saying that everybody just woke up, but the advent of artificial intelligence really sort of early last year into middle of last year really set the markets moving again about technology and the opportunities in technology going forward, that there's an entirely new phase coming,
Yeah.
and that new phase will create all kinds of new opportunities in the marketplace that we can't even conceive of right now. And it's already doing it. I mean, I talked to a guy yesterday who's trying to start a business teaching AI. So just things like that are coming about as a result of it. So the markets were driven up by the promise, right, of a very, very bright future and the potential for all these stocks. Now, yes, we're at frothy levels. So the price earnings ratio of the NASDAQ 100 peaked at 41 sometime, multiple years back. I hope it wasn't 1999 because that ended pretty badly, about a 50% drop. It's now at 38 ish, somewhere in that neighborhood. There are three ways that it can come back to more normal levels, which might be more like 28 to 30, something along those lines. Tech stocks always have a higher PE, but not 38. So the three things are interest rates can go down, which helps valuations of any stocks. Uh, the price of the stocks can go down, which is the last thing everybody wants to see happen, of course. Or the earnings can rise and rise faster than inflation, and that brings down the price earnings ratio as well. And tech stocks apparently just came out something like 13% above what was anticipated. So right now the earnings are helping. There is really great disagreement about whether or not this is going to be a crash or a pause, let's call it. There's a lot of reason to think that interest rates may fall towards year end. That would obviously help tech stocks also, just as I mentioned earlier. But yeah, I mean, they're high. It really comes down to what stocks have what promise and at what prices, really, when you come right down to it. So stock picking becomes important when you get to this level of the market.
Makes a lot of sense. And hey, who knows? Based upon what you said, they may change the name from the DJIA to the DJAI.
Yeah, or the DJTA, the technology average, which would be much more of interest to people because, John Deere Caterpillars, how fast can they grow relative to technology stocks? That's the problem. We went from an agrarian society hundreds of years ago where land was wealth. We went to an industrial society where industrial capacity and creating machines was wealth. And we've moved to a technological society. Creating scalable, efficient systems by computer creates wealth now. And it's revolutionary. You have to try to look at it in historical context to really see the change. Just in my time in this business, the change from industrial to technology stocks is amazing.
Yeah, and I think you're exactly right. We're just on the footstep of watching remarkable growth and remarkable changes as it relates to as it relates to AI,
Yeah.
how it affects society and business.
Yep. And it's going to be fast. It's happening very fast. I mean, my business is bombarded 2 to 3 times a day with some offer to get AI involved in how we do business and everything else. Every industry, every business is a prospect for some degree of efficiency, driving efficiency through more computerized systems and processes.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Tim Smith, good stuff. Really appreciate you joining us and giving us a very good perspective on what's going on, not only here in the present time, but likely here in the very near term future as well.
Very welcome. Thanks for having me, Rick.
There's Tim Smith, CEO of Aurora Private Wealth and financial contributor here on the show.